What is up, YouTube? HPJ here, and we're here with the last video of taking a deep dive into the Yu-Gi-Oh! Legendary 5Ds decks. And we have the last duelist to take a look at, and that is Crow Hogan, the master of the Blackwings, and his ace monster. Which is funny though, because this is not what I really would consider his ace monster. But this is Ace Monster. It's Blackwinged Dragon, because there's an alternate form of it. But here's the thing, though. Crow's main deck is Blackwings. Blackwings are all winged beast, dark attribute winged beast monsters. Their whole gimmick is that they special summon out of the ass. No, I'm serious. That is one of their major gimmicks. Is special summoning out the ass, as long as you control another Blackwing. Or when you don't control any monsters, special summon is Blackwing. And then they synchro like crazy, making a ton of iconic synchro monsters in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. The thing about Crow Hogan is something that most people don't know, is Crow was never supposed to be a signer. The reason he became a signer was because of the popularity of his archetype, the Blackwings. And if for those who don't know, during the early development of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds, as the storyline was progressing, the Japanese version of the show took a step back, because if you remember in one of the episodes where they showed a flashback of the Earthbound Immortals going up against the Signer Dragons, you see particularly that there is not a black-winged dragon, but Livestream Dragon making its appearance, hinting that yes, Leo was supposed to be the last signer that was supposed to rise up. So if you clearly check it, it was supposed to be Jack, it was supposed to be Yusei, Crow, Yusei, Jack, Akiza, Luna, and Leo. But because of how more popular Blackwings became, they decided, well, why don't we switch this up, and instead we'll just save Leo for later on. So when the iconic moment that Leo was supposed to be, I guess supposed to have his moment to be a signer, got scrapped, and then that's how Crow becomes the signer. So Crow becomes the signer. He gets his ace monster, Blackwinged Dragon. Crow's history is basically Crow loves the kids. Crow protects the kids of the satellite, and they look up to him as a big brother. Crow himself, basically throughout the series, he gives the Joey Wheeler approach at most points, but he has literally one of the best and most cohesive decks out of the five, well, six, because Leo has his Morphtronics, and they all go into Power Tool Dragon, and they do crazy shenanigans between them. Crow's monsters, on the other hand, focus on themselves being dark attributed winged beasts. They are, of course, the Blackwings. And we love the Blackwings. We are here for the Blackwings. And a lot of people don't understand how much love I have for Blackwings, because when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When I first came into Yu-Gi-Oh! On a more competitive level, that was 2009. And that was when Blackwings were circulating everywhere. They had just won Worlds around that time as well. And these winged beasts definitely caught my attention. I did play Blackwings for a large period of time. Even more so, funnier, how much support Blackwings got over the last decade since their initial release. It's literally been almost a decade, almost 2 decades now, since Blackwings have been out. And it is crazy how depth the Blackwing archetype has gotten with all the stuff that Blackwings have gotten over the years. Tons of synchros, tons of new monsters to play with, tons of just everything. And I know this is literally me just talking about the history of Crow. And you're going to see the deck pretty soon. I just want people to understand that. But it's a lot of depth that talks about this duelist and his iconic monsters, and how much it definitely, you see the changes of Crow throughout the season. I mean, they even brought Crow back for Arc V and gave him even more monsters that a lot of people did not expect them to do. And even then, Blackwings got a newer monster, an upgrade to Blackwinged Dragon, just like most of the others did as well. And now we have Blackwinged Dragon Assault. So, yeah, definitely a lot of stuff to look through. So, let's go ahead and let's look at everything. And we start off with the Hollows, which are copies of Blackwing, Vayu, the Emblem of Honor, Icarus Attack, Blackbird Clothes, Blackwing Armor Master, and I think it's a misprint. Because it's supposed to say Blackwing. Oh, so I'm reading wrong. Blackwing, Nothing the Starlight. And then that's it. That's all 5 of the hollows. Sorry about the glare because I didn't think there's going to be a glare considering where the light is. But yeah, these are the Blackwing cards that are included as the hollows. I think between all of them, I think Crow has the least hollows out of all of them. But considering that the main focus was supposed to be Yusei because it was supposed to be just bringing his OCG deck to the TCG, you kind of see that, yeah, there's really no new cards for Crow. And there's barely anything new for Akiza because most of her new cards had just came out in Doom of Dimension. For the reprints of cards, we'll start off with the monsters. We have the icons, Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind, Blackwing Bora the Spear, the first reprint, Hand Trap, which is 2 copies of Droll and Lockbird. We have Crest, the Crack of Dawn. We have Signog, the Warning Moon, or the Warning Moon? The Warning Moon. Then we have Orsos, the Squall. We have Harmattan, the Dust. We have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs. Then we have 3 copies of Simon, the Poisonous Wind. 1 copy of Ghost Mourner in Moonlit Chill. 3 copies of Blackwing Vat, the emblem of Wandering. Then we have 3 copies of Samal, the Sandstorm. Played the Root Sandstorm here. Then we have Blackwing Kinok, the Snow Blast. And then we have 3 copies of Blackwing Sindari, the Phantom Glimmer. And 1 copy, oh Jesus, okay, everybody is just moving so much over here. Let's move them back over here just a bit, there we go. And then the last monster in the main deck is a copy of Melcharmy for Walos, because why not have a Winged Beast monster hand trap in there? Alright, so that is it for all of the Monstars. We're now going to go into the spells and traps. Just give me 1 second, because I still want to keep them in order. Alright, and we're going to go with the 1 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon, the 1 copy of Book of Moon, 2 copies of Black Whirlwind, 1 Forbidden Chalice, 1 Call by the Grave, 2 copies of Black Feather Whirlwind. And then for the traps are just Delta Crow Anti-Reverse and Blackwing Twin Shadow. For the extra deck monsters, and I believe he has 9 out of... No, 8 monsters. Blackwing Armwing, Blackwing Silverwing the Ascended, a 2nd copy of Blackwinged Dragon, Blackwing Full Armor Master, which is an upgrade for Blackwing Armor Master, the 2 copies of Blackwinged Assault Dragon, which is the upgrade for Blackwinged Assault, and then the 2 copies of Burrow Stream the Wicked Winds, which is another Blackwing Synchro monster as well. Just a ton of Blackwing Synchros. Blackwing Synchros, Blackwinged Dragon, and all the funs and shenanigans. So, what are my biggest gripes with this version of the Blackwings? No Shirako, no Shura, no Kalu, no Blizzard. But, while they are not here, let me just make this perfectly clear. Every other Blackwing that is here corresponds with what I talked about earlier. That the gimmick of the Blackwing monsters is to special summon each other while you either control a Blackwing or have no monsters on the field and want to special summon things to the board to take advantage of those things. Now, the major gimmick that is of Blackwings is, like I said, special summoning each other and special summoning cards. One of the biggest ones that we have to talk about is this guy here. Blackwing Vayu, the Emblem of Honor, is a Blackwing monster that can banish itself and another Blackwing in the graveyard to then synchro summon a Blackwing monster from your extra deck, but its effects are negated. Why is this so? Because, well, there's a little deck called Vayu Turbo, and Vayu Turbo was basically this: sending Vayus to your graveyard to then banish Vayu from the graveyard with another corresponding Blackwing to then special summon a Blackwing monster from your extra deck. The reason you did this is because that you basically place more Blackwings on the field so the others can start swimming on the field, like Blackwing Gale the Whirlwind, Blackwing Bora the Spear. Gale was allowing you to have your opponent's monster attack and defense. Bora had piercing battle damage. You found a way to summon Sirocco. Activated Sirocco's effect to target Bora. Bora gets a bump up or even Armwing if the Armwing didn't have its effect negated. And then you just swing at your opponent's monster and then deal tons of piercing battle damage. Why? Because that's what smart players do. That is literally one of the smartest and one of the many strategies that Blackwings had. But it is part of the reason why Royal Oppression, because there's Value Oppression, which is the version of the deck as well, where you can abuse Blackwing Value to Emblem Honor. Because no card, you only declaring the effect of Special Summon, it would trigger Royal Oppression to where your opponent would pay the life points, but then it'd be useless because the value would just stay in the graveyard. And then that would force your opponent out to have to pay the life points or just let the Special Summon happen. And most of the time, people would let the Special Summon happen. Why? There would be no point of trying to negate this, because either way, this value is going to trigger something and is going to summon its monster. And because its cost is just having it activate in the graveyard, the banishing doesn't happen because that's an effect. So that's how it got over things like Royal Oppression. Yeah, welcome to the history of a deck that definitely had its time in the spotlight. The spotlight, and made sure you knew it had its time in the spotlight. Icarus Attack was a staple trap card for Winged Beast decks, tributing Winged Beast to then destroy up to 2 cards on the field. Between Blackwings and Harpies, maybe Dragonities if they felt like wanting to use this. This is basically just, destroy things as much as you can and laugh at your opponent while you did it. And it's also sets up for a value too, because you can just T-set Icarus Attack value, tribute the value, blow up cards on your opponent's field. Just go crazy with the synchro summons to then help you special summon and use value's effect as well. Blackwing Close was just some support card for the archetype. The boss monster, in my opinion, is right here. The first of the boss monsters, and that is Blackwing Armor Master. Requires a Blackwing tuner and non-tuner monsters for its synchro summon. When this monster is on the field, it cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage involving this monster. At the end of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can place one wedge counter on that monster if it isn't destroyed, and then you once a turn can remove the wedge counter to reduce the attack of that monster to 0. Yep, it was a sure way of just summoning this monster, pitching out wedge counters, dropping off the wedge counters, and then taking out the monster and inflicting tons of damage to your opponent. That's kind of the reason why Blackwings were very popular, because they had all these various tactics that you can use. And it was because of monsters like this one. And then Blackwing Nothing the Moon, the Starlight. Oh, I love this one because this is a special summon. Yeah, when this card is special summon, your opponent will take 800 points of damage, but then you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and loses attack and 800 attack and defense. And then once a turn, during your main phase, you can normal summon a Blackwing monster in addition to the normal summon or set this turn. So burn damage plus special summoning. Plus extended summoning. Not special summoning, but extended summoning. That's why a lot of people love it. I also like it because I like its artwork. Nothing is really cool artwork. Alright, and now going on into all the Blackwing monsters, and I'll just save you the trouble. Most of them are going to special summon themselves. Most of them are going to bring each other out through effects. Most of them are just going to be really, really cool to look at. And then most of them are going to say, how does that even have anything to do with the act of wind that the Blackwing monster knows? Because yes, most of the card names for Blackwings has something to do with an effect of the wind, something that has to do with a wind occurrence. I do believe there is a Blackwing for Hurricane, there's a Blackwing for Turbulence, there's a Blackwing for the Cyclone. It's so many different Blackwings. Well, yes, not all of them are in this, but I do have a portion of them, and now I have even more. So, Gale the Whirlwind, Boar the Spear, the Droll and Lock birds are here because they're wind attribute. There is a bird in it, but it's just a combination of having more reprints for for hand traps in this. Crest can special summon, Shurmag can special summon, Osiris can special summon, Hamati can special summon. The Ash Blossom and Joyous Springs, I think, are simply here as a motif to the wind. Cherry Blossom season, having those cherry blossoms swirl in the wind. And of course, the ghost girl herself, Miss Ash Blossom, being attached to this as well. It's not too bad. So look, guys, more forehead. Then we have Simoon, the Poisonous Wind. Simoon actually helps you go get Black Whirlwind, and then allows you to give a normal summon of him without a tribute, and that triggers off Black Whirlwind's effect as well. So if you find a way to power up Black Whirlwind, and then take advantage of the Blackwings. Oh yeah, no, you have a lot here. Ghost Mourner and Moonlit Chill, another wind reference. This ghost girl, if I'm not mistaken, she's the one every time your opponent special summons, face up except during the damage step, you discard this card and target one of those monsters and negate its effects until the end of the turn. And then also if that monster leaves the field, the controller will take damage equal to its original attack. So yeah, and I think this is more so of another wind reference because of the chilling winds during the moonlight. Then we have another emblem monster, which is Vati, the emblem of wandering. Another special summoner, Simon, another special summoner, Croak, which it looks like Kalut in what's that other monster? Freeze, the Hot Zephyr. So there's a lot of those little Blackwings as well. This one says in this card, it's sent from the hand or field to the graveyard. You can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and send one Blackwing synchro monster or a Blackwing dragon from your extra deck to the Graven. If you do, until the end of the turn, the targeted monster loses 700 attack. And also, its effects are negated. And the quick effect, if you control a dark synchro monster, you only use this effect of Blackwing Karak the Snow Blast once per turn. Oh, that's not bad. It's not like Kalut, but it's not bad. And then we have Sharad the Phantom Glimmer, which of course another wind reference, the glimmering winds around a phantom. Look at some storybooks, they actually do talk about that. And then when this card is almost summoned, you can add a card that specifically lists Blackwing Dragon to your hand from your deck except for a copy of itself. You can trigger one monster to such summon Phantom Glimmer tokens. Their dark attribute winged beast level 1. Is it level 1? No, they're level 2 monsters. Tuner monsters at that. 700 attack and defense, and then you'll take 700 points of damage, so that's fine. You can only summon synchro monsters for the rest of the turn, but Blackwings. And then we have Melcharmy Follows, which of course rounds out all of the Melcharmies that are being reprinted here as well. Standard lineup of just extra support cards. MST for the back row. Book of Moon to put the monster's face down so that some of your monsters can do piercing battle damage. Double Black Whirlwind to search out for your Blackwing monsters. Forbidden Chalice for negation. Graveyard negation with Call by the Grave. And then some more searching and feathering out with Black Feather Whirlwind. Delta Crow anti-reverse to deal with trap cards. And another support card for Blackwings with Twin Shadow. Piercing damage, big summoner, mainly used with Vayu to just summon out a big beat stick. Reprint of the boss monster, reprint of an alternate the upgrade of the boss monster, reprint of the upgrade of the other boss monster, and then just an upgrade of a really cool card. So yeah, because I ain't reading through all that text, and just because I'm stupid about what Blackwing effects are, look, I know the deck just as well as anybody else too. Special summon out the wazoo and make these Blackwings go ham. So, with that said, do I like this variation of what they did with Crow's deck? Oh, definitely. I just wish some of the Blackwing monsters that I knew were iconic to the Blackwings were definitely added to it. But I understand. They wanted to circulate everybody and give everybody a fair chance. That's fine, too. But shout outs to Gale and Bora for being the two OGs that got some love in this, as well as the synchros of Blackwing Armwing and Blackwing Armor Master, because, of course, the OGs of the Blackwings. So that's going to wrap up my Blackwing look at here. I just love the fact that we had so much attached to this for these 3 decks, and I'm really, really excited. And I know many of you are going to be excited as well to see what I do with these variations of decks, which I will get to soon. I will get to them soon. Just please give me time, and I will. Alright, with that said and done, I'm going to wrap up this video because I have other things to do. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel as it helps out tremendously. Hit that notification bell to be informed of when I upload more content to the channel. The socials are in the description box below. And with that said, HBJ signing out. Peace.